Welcome to my channel Art Book Nook. My name is Kay and I review art and craft books. If you're a regular to my channel, I've got something a little bit different for you in this video. It's been so cold and grey here for months in the UK. I just wanted to share something a little bit cheery and bring some colour into our lives. I can think of no better artist to do this other than Scott Naismith, a Scottish artist who paints beautiful abstract landscapes. Scott paints in acrylic and oil, but regardless of your chosen medium, I'm sure you'll be inspired and delighted by the vibrant artwork in Scott's book. On that note, I do have to say this book is out of print. I have emailed Scott and I've asked him if there are any plans to reprint it. Some of you may question why I'm going to review a book that you can no longer buy. You can obtain second-hand copies on the internet currently, but they are quite expensive. Well, my channel is not just about books that you can buy from Amazon. I like to share the books in my collection that are out of print, so at least other people can enjoy them as much as I do, if only by watching this video. But that being said, Scott Naismith has an amazing YouTube channel, and I've linked to it in the description below, and on it you'll find lots of demonstrations, tutorials, and a really good playlist all about colour. So let's take a look inside this lovely book and find out all about Scott Naismith and all about his beautiful paintings. Scott believes the primary purpose of an artist is to encourage others to look at the world differently. Scott graduated from Duncan of Jordanstone College of Art and Design in Dundee, having studied illustration and printmaking. He began painting in watercolour at the age of 9 using a large Hague brush and was inspired by Ron Ranson. He revisited his love of landscapes after he'd left college, and it was during a visit to Waikiki Scott experienced the most tremendous cumulus clouds. The effect was astonishing and has left him with a resonance to this day. Scott has a real passion for colour, and when asked to teach colour theory, he challenged the way the traditional method was taught, and has subsequently developed his own colour wheel and filmed a video for YouTube entitled The Truth About the Colour Wheel. I've put a link in the description below so you can watch this for yourself, but this has now had over 370,000 views worldwide. If you visit Scott's website, you'll be able to download a copy of his colour wheel at no cost. Scott describes his work as atmospheric abstraction, occupying the space between representation and abstraction. He sees abstraction as a process of simplification and embellishment. The painting on the right-hand page is entitled Gravity and refers to the forces pulling the fluid paint down in drips. Scott states you'll find the colour magenta in nearly everything he paints. It's his symbol of creativity. Magenta has no wavelength associated with it, and this concept is analysed in more detail in Scott's YouTube film called The Beauty of Magenta, and I've linked to this for you in the description below. Scott has always felt that music has a lot more descriptive terms than that of the visual arts. For example, coloratura derives from the Latin colorare, meaning to colour. Lentando in music means becoming slower. Legato means a series of notes tied together with a smooth transition, and staccato refers to notes detached, separated by short gaps. Portato is a style of playing somewhere between legato and staccato. Scott states sometimes art inspires people and sometimes people inspire art, and shares that both his parents have been diagnosed with cancer. Unfortunately, both are now long since in remission, and Scott believes they owe much of that to a positive attitude and optimism, and above all hope. And a client once told Scott that hope stands for have only positive expectations. The painting on the right-hand page is entitled Scotland Optimism and was inspired by the level of political debate surrounding the Scottish independence referendum of September 2014. Many of the concepts within Scott's skyscrapes and landscapes are translated into floral studies. This one is called Flourish. Scott's work is quite large in scale. The painting on the left-hand page, called Consonance and Dissonance, is acrylic and oil on linen and is 90 centimetres square. Aren't the colours just gorgeous? The painting on the left-hand page, entitled Above and Below, is a comment on the echoing of patterns forming in the sky and reflecting below on land and sea. Scott was born and brought up in a village situated 9 miles outside the city of Glasgow, and other than the 4 years he spent at college, he has spent his entire life around Glasgow. The arrival of the Commonwealth Games in Glasgow in 2014 inspired a series of 3 Glasgow-based paintings. Also in 2014, 25 large-scale horses took to the streets for 2 months and were then auctioned, with proceeds going to Kilbride Hospice. Scott applied his colourful art to his horse called Diminuendo. Just look at the wonderful skies in these 2 paintings. They're just gorgeous. The view is looking out to Ailsa Crag and Arran, which is in Ayrshire. Whilst mostly landscape painting has an emphasis on horizontal lines, which convey a calmness, Scott is now able to make use of more dynamic diagonals obtained from a new perspective by using a drone. I love how Scott has painted the fields with a patchwork of simple marks. And here are 2 paintings, Glencoe Rising and Loch Leven, and by using the drone, a very different perspective of the area was captured. What now follows is a series of beautiful paintings inspired by the stunning scenery of Scotland. This book is titled Scottish Skies, but as Scott explained in his introduction, much of his inspiration is still rooted in that memorable trip to Hawaii. Scott's paintings have brought a global audience online, and his following in the United States has grown more than anywhere else. The Statue of Liberty is a symbol of freedom facing out to the Atlantic, welcoming those arriving from overseas. Scott likes to think of it as a symbol for hope. Well, I'm sure you'll agree this is a really inspirational book, and Scott Naismith is an incredible artist. I sincerely hope that by sharing Scott Naismith's vibrant and dynamic and colourful book with you, this has brought a little bit of joy into your life. In the description below, I've added links to Scott's website and also to his YouTube channel. Please visit it. It's full of tutorials and inspiration, just like this book. I've also linked to the video on colour theory, the truth about the colour wheel and the beauty of magenta. And there's also a link to an interview with Scott Naismith by Ian Walton, who has a YouTube channel called Colour in Your Life. And again, that YouTube channel is well worth a visit, as they interview lots of artists all over the world. And I've also linked to Scott's Facebook page, Instagram and Pinterest accounts. And whilst you may not be able to buy a copy of this incredible book at the moment, You can support Scott as an artist by visiting his website. Maybe you'd like to buy a calendar, he's got one currently for 2025, or maybe you'd like to purchase some of his merchandise, which is available on Amazon. I hope you found my review helpful. If you did, please give this video a like. It helps YouTube promote my channel to other people who are interested in art books. I try and post a new art book review every single week, so if you'd like to see more reviews from me, please subscribe to my channel. I'd really appreciate it. And if you found this review helpful, please leave me a comment below. I do reply to all comments. And if there's an art book that you'd like to see, let me know and I will do my best to review it for you. So thank you for watching, and until next time, happy painting.